Oh my God. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Rashonology. Here we have another quick one for you today. Man, oh man, let me tell you, this one is wild. So, Texas, we're going to need to have a conversation with y'all down there. And listen, I love Texas. I ain't going to sit here and say nothing negative about Texas. I love Texas. I've been to Texas. I've been to Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, whole bunch of different places. Been to Cowboy Stadium. I love me some Texas, but yeah, what the hell are we doing down there, man? No good here.
Nope.
No good. So here we have a boy, and this runs much deeper than just what's going on. But here we have a boy who went to another person's house with a whip and was knocking on the door with the whip and was whipping the door. So I know you're probably listening to this and you're like, wait, what? What are we in the Jim Crow South? What the hell are we doing here? But it gets deeper than that. This is nasty, nasty, nasty work. But at the end of the day, we can learn from this. We could all learn from this. So that's what we're going to do. So as you know, on Rashonology, hit the like button. We have a video. We look at the video and then we talk about the video. So let's talk about it. Let's see what they're doing down there in Texas.
And had a whip and used it several times.
The threat didn't stop there. Our Nick Starling spoke with the family who wants the boy's parents to take responsibility.
Carissa Nash was home when this happened at her door.
It was terrifying.
A neighborhood.
That's an L. Bruh, what in the blue hell are we doing? This is wild. That's a wild visual over it. This is crazy.
Neighborhood boy angrily knocking and lashing a whip at her door.
When I look on the doorbell camera, I can see, he actually has a whip. So I just, swing the door open. I'm like, what's going on? You need to leave.
The family said.
First things first. This family's black. Clearly, this family's a black family, and this kid is a white kid coming from a white family. Now, first things first. Okay, we understand that this is very wrong, but let's see how this all started and how did this all transpire.
Says this started Thursday after school when their daughter and the neighborhood boy were walking back home.
This one particular kid was hitting the girls with the skateboard, and she retaliated, hit him back. One of the other kids pushed him in some water, pushed him from behind. He fell into a puddle of water. When he got up, the first person he seen was our daughter, so he assumed that she did it.
They also claim this scratch on the car was also.
So let me get this straight. Kids are walking home from school. One of the little kids is hitting the girls, because he did say girls. He didn't say girl. And he didn't say they hit his daughter. They just said, so I guess it's a group of kids walking home. They probably all live in this area. First thing I can see, this looks like a good area. Nice big old house. They got a nice, looks like an Audi in the driveway. So they got some money. They got a couple dollars. And even if they don't, it's a nice area. Nice suburban neighborhood. This does not scream to me the trap. So that's first thing. Nice area. Shout out to everybody who lives in that area. So everybody's walking home, and I guess this boy, kids are being kids. Boys hitting girls with the skateboard. He probably like them. Don't know how to verbalize it. Little boys sometimes they don't know how to express themselves, so they just beat up on people they like. I know it sounds ridiculous, but trust me, a lot of times that's what it is. So he hits him with the skateboard. He's hitting random girls with the skateboard. One of the girls pushes his ass in the puddle, and he's like, "Oh, all right." So they pushed him from behind. So maybe their daughter was in that little group, and when he got up, everybody was like, "It wasn't me. It wasn't me." And who knows if it was a bunch of little white girls and a couple of black girls, a little bunch of black girls. Who knows who it was? All I know is he looked up and saw her and said, "It was you." She said, "It wasn't me." He said, "No, it was you." So then they go to their respective houses and they live right across the street from each other. And little brother comes back across the street with a whip and whips the door angrily. He's banging on, and these are little kids. These are like 7, 8, 9, 10. These kids are little. So maybe not 7, maybe like 10, 11. These kids are those little kids. And he thinks it's okay to walk up to, and he probably didn't say nothing to the parents. He probably didn't, because if he got that angry, he probably just went, grabbed the whip. First of all, why the hell does that family have a whip?
Stop it. Get some help.
That's very alarming. So he has a whip and gets it and starts whipping on the door. So he's obviously got some anger issues, because that's not okay in any realm. And then he hits the car, I guess, on the way to the door, and hits the door. Let's continue.
From the whip.
It's a deep scratch, and not something that you can fill in or buff away.
When Desiree Nash walked over to confront the boy's dad about this,
Okay, first things first. Before we even get to that, kids do what they see. Kids do what they see. So if this kid is angry like this, he's seen his father or his mother get angry like this. He's seeing very impulsive, because that's an impulsive thing to do. Your anger takes a hold of you, and and kids, they can't comprehend. So this stuff is learned behavior. He's seen his dad or his mom get mad. He's seen someone get mad and go do some impulsive shit. So he went and did some impulsive shit. Because who knows? Now, I'm not going to throw any allegations out here like, oh, they're hitting this kid or they're beating this kid. I'm not going to say any of that. But what I'm going to say is that this is not random. This kid getting angry like this, he's seen this. He's seen this in his household. When you see a kid, a baby, and they talk with their hands, they're doing a lot of, they talk with their hands. In that household, there are people that talk with their hands. You know this because kids do what they see. They mimic what they see. That's how they grow up. They see other people walking, they want to walk. They see people talking loud, they talk loud. They think it's normal. So this kid, either A, he can't control his impulses and nobody has taught him how to regulate his emotions. And he's a kid, so he's going to mess up. So I take this off the kid because this is on the parents. Because in my line of work, when I see parents and I see their kid is all over the place, I know they're all over the place. But when I see parents come in and it's the same age kids, it's the same boys, little boys and little girls, it's the same age, and they come in and they sit and they read, or they sit and they're on their, not even on the iPad, they're reading a book, or they sit and they don't have no entertainment and they just sit there nice and quiet, not bothering anybody. They don't scream, they don't yell like this. And then I see they could be 8, 9, 10. And then I see another group of people come in, another family with 8, 9, and 10-year-old kids, and they're all over the place and they can't stay still. And they're here, they're there. That's the parents. I know the parents are all over the place because the kids are all over the place. I know the kids are chaotic because the parents are chaotic. Or they just haven't taught their children how to properly know any home training. They haven't taught them how to conduct themselves out in the world. Because you could get two different kids, the same age, same everything. They could even be the same nationality. They could be different nationality. That shit don't matter. It's about how are they being raised. That's what it comes down to. And this kid obviously has, I don't even know if he has anger issues. I mean, we've only seen one angry, impulsive act. And kids are impulsive because they're kids. They don't know how to regulate. Their brains ain't even fully developed yet. So kids are going to do what kids are going to do. But this is when the parents come in and teach them this is not okay. But let's see how this kid's parents reacted after this.
soon as he opens the door, I see that he has a weapon behind his back and he's leaning up against the doorway.
He tries to show the neighbor what happened, but told him to get away. After the discussion got heated, Nash says the neighbor fired off a shot.
Oh my God!
His daughter was standing behind him in the doorway. She could have easily been hit by the bullet.
Okay, so this brother goes over there and says, obviously, I'm not going to talk to this kid. We're not doing that. Let's go talk to the family, man to man. Man goes over there and is like, yo, let me talk to you. Your kid just came over to across the street and was banging on my door with the whip. What's up with that? And who knows how he went over there. But it doesn't matter. He went over there on some man-to-man shit. So the other guy has his pistol. And you know what? I'm not even mad at that.
Nope.
Because at the end of the day, self-preservation, you got to protect yourself. So he don't know what type of time this brother right here was on. Because this guy right here could have went over there and been and straight snuffed him when he opened the door. So, and in Texas, everybody holding in Texas. Everybody got that thing. Everybody. So it keeps a lot of people in line because you know you holding, but so are they. So it could get crazy real quick. In New York, you know, not everybody has that because in New York, you know, you get a quick 3 years just for trying to protect yourself. But at the end of the day, he went over there. He had his thing behind the door just in case. Okay, cool. Because somebody did come onto your property and they knocked on your door. Now, we don't know how that exchange went. He could have went over there peaceful and the dude could have been like, yo, get the F away from my door. Or he could have went over there rowdy and the dude could have been like, get the F away from my door. But judging by what he did, he's firing shots at the floor. And like judging by all of that, you could tell this is learned behavior in this house. This is what goes on in this house. This is what this kid has learned. And that kid is going to grow up and that kid is going to do something stupid because of what his parents are teaching him. That kid is going to grow up. First of all, he's hitting people with skateboards. So it's one thing if you're doing a little roughhousing. First of all, you're roughhousing with girls and you shouldn't be roughhousing with girls. Secondly, he got so impulsive. He went to somebody else's house and banged on their door with a whip. So what happens when he goes over to somebody else's house that he felt wronged him and he has his pistol with him instead of a whip? What happens if he does this as a teenager and he goes to somebody else's house, bangs on their door, has a whip, and they open the door and let off? Then what? Because nobody taught him this is not how we operate. Because make no mistake, as a teenager, these things are going to happen. And it's all about what were you taught. You always revert back to what you were taught. So if you were taught how to properly resolve conflicts, like his life wasn't in danger. He got pushed into a puddle. He felt embarrassed. But instead of having a conversation, screaming, getting mad, obviously you don't want to be putting hands on people. But he went over there and he thought that was okay. And his father came out and his father didn't want to hear nothing. His father came out and shot a warning shot when the dude went over there to confront him. This is nuts. This is nuts. There's people outside. What are you shooting warning shots for? He went over there unarmed. His hands are here. He's like, yo, bro, let me talk to you. Your kid did this. He came on my door. He's unarmed. So you protected yourself. Okay. But when it gets a little escalated, then you want to shoot at the floor? This is nuts.
My wife could have been hit. I could have been hit.
Nash says then the cops arrived. Late Saturday, the Kaufman County Constable Precinct 2 confirms to CBS 11 News that neighbor was charged with deadly conduct because of...
Good. Good, you dummy. Because your life is not in danger, bro. Nobody's in danger here. It's broad daylight. There's kids outside. Your daughter's behind you. We're trying to have a conflict resolution. You over here firing warning shots. And look at this guy.
Reckless discharge.
Look at this guy. He's sitting there ready to crash out.
Charge of a firearm. And the man has since bonded out of jail. The Nashes just want this whole ordeal behind them and move on.
Hopefully he takes responsibility for it and, things.
All right. I don't need to state the obvious. this couple, obviously, black couple, the wife looked like she could be mixed with something else. They're a dark-skinned couple, so we're just gonna say they're a black couple. They're a dark-skinned couple. You could add race to this, but at the end of the day, everybody in this neighborhood got nice houses in this neighborhood. Look at the neighborhood, but it looks nice. Looks like a nice neighborhood. But just because you go into a nice neighborhood and you black, it don't mean that everybody gonna like you. It don't mean they probably looking like, what are these N-words doing over here? He looked like he one of those guys. He looked like he one of those guys. What are you doing at my door, N-word? He could have went over there with a wrench. That kid could have went over there with a hammer. That kid went over there with a whip. What are they teaching that kid in that house? This is how we handle conflicts. When somebody comes to the door and they want to have a conversation with you man to man, you keep your pistol, and then when it gets escalated, you fire a warning shot at the floor. Even though they're not armed and they just want to talk, I don't want to talk to you. Get off my property. Yo, your kid just came over and banged on my door with a whip, bro. Like, that's not okay. I'll get the F away from my door. This is crazy. Just because you move into a different neighborhood, they still don't want you there. Racism still exists. Some white people still don't like you. You have to be careful. You have to protect your family at all times, at all costs. So now this family has to worry about the people across the street, because now we know we know who you are now. We know who you are. We know what we're dealing with. So now we have to protect ourselves from you. This is nuts. This is nuts. And their kids got to go to the same school, so they're going to have to interact. So, unfortunately, this is the world that we live in. They could be looking down. How'd you even get in this neighborhood? You N-words. You don't belong here. So, I'm looking at the comments now. Yeah, they got a double home security. That could have ended real bad. I seen 9-year-old boys charged with crimes, handcuffed, and hauled away despite the pleas of the public. Okay. I hope the authorities check the criminals, kids, and pets. Yeah, mad aggressive. Kid is mad aggressive. He went over there with a whip. He learned that. That's learned behavior. First of all, no impulse control, which is, he's a kid, so kids get angry. They have to be taught to. Especially little boys, they got to be taught to control their impulses, and because their natural thing is to get mad and get even and get aggressive. That's probably normal for boys, but somebody got to teach you to check that, because you could do that when you get 12, 13, and you might not make it home. You get aggressive with the wrong person. You knock on the wrong person's door. That's for any kid. So they got to get checked. But the fact that the father came out and did the exact same thing, wild aggressive. I understand that protecting yourself. That I get. What I don't get is the shooting on the floor in broad daylight with everybody outside, and like, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? So sometimes you gotta stay away from people. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Protect your family at all costs. Do what you have to do. Shout out to this family. In a good neighborhood, but just because you're in a good neighborhood, a neighborhood is only as good as its people. And clearly there are people in this neighborhood that don't like you for whatever reason. And hopefully they stay away from them. So we'll see what happens. But that's all I got for you today. We got a short video after. RNS Wealth Builders, the sponsors of this video. As always, if you are looking to up your financial game plan, up your financial future for anything, please hit the link. QR code will be at the bottom. After that, I'm out. So everybody be safe. I'll holler at you, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
I want it, I got it. I got it.